are underway, broadcasting to you from our North Catholic studios in Cranberry Township for this third episode of Season 3 of our podcast on North Catholic Athletics. My name is Alex Brown.
And I'm Ryan Berry.
And together we are your hosts for this podcast. And as we start fall, Ryan, the fall sports are in full swing.
Yes, they are, Alex. Everything's going. I think we have 7 sports that we're going to be talking about today, and all of them are doing fairly well.
They are.
Some growing pains going up in divisions, but
Absolutely.
They're starting to work out the kinks, and one of those teams trying to work out the kinks is football.
And football, last time we talked, the Trojans were 2-0, but now they have fallen down to the record of 2-2, as their last 2 weeks they've lost to Aliquippa 26-0 and then Highland 17-7, and they've scored 1 touchdown, Ryan, in their last 9 quarters.
And against Aliquippa, they weren't able to get an offensive first down, not caused by a penalty. So trying to get the offense going has been a problem for the Trojans these last couple weeks. The first couple weeks they didn't look perfect, but they were getting points on the board. I think Sarah Catholic, there were 36 points scored. Shady Side had 21, so it's been going downhill ever since that first week, and they're trying to get the train back on the tracks on the offense for this upcoming week against Kiski.
And obviously, as you say, there's growing pains going up in classifications as you're playing your first 4A opponents over the last 2 weeks, and that's where you got your 2 losses. But now you're starting to get into a point now with that loss to Highlands, because you don't get many section games in football, and you're getting to a point you got to start winning some of them. And not that it's a must-win, but this is as close to a must-win as you can have without it being crucial to your season. But this is a pretty big game for the Trojans,
especially against a team that's averaging 5 points a game and is 0-4 in Kiski. This is a game North Catholic should win if they want to give them shots at the playoffs. You almost feel like they have to win this one.
We've been going over this here in the back last couple weeks here in the athletic department. We've been throwing around just how much North Catholic needs to win over their last 5 conference games that they have. They have one more non-conference game. That's against Avonworth coming up on the 14th of October. We'll be doing that broadcast. But they got Kiski this week, Armstrong next week, Hampton the following week, then Avonworth, then they go to Indiana, and then Mars for their final 2 games of the year. So of those 5 games, Ryan, you think they have to win at least 3.
Yeah, you think so. How many teams make the playoffs in each conference?
You're looking at the top 4, probably.
And so,
it's
I'd say
roughly
3. I'd say 3 or 4 wins. I don't think you can get in with 2. I think you have to have 3 or 4, and maybe 3 won't cut it.
And you'd like to be in the top 3 of your section too. And we'll see what happens here as we're coming down. It might not seem like we're in the final stretch. North Catholic has 6 more games, but it'll go by pretty quick here, and teams find themselves in trouble fairly quickly. And that loss to Highlands last week, Ryan, that was an important one, and it broke a streak for North.
Yeah, it was. I think North Catholic had 26 straight conference wins, which was the most in the WPIAL, and that got broken against Highlands in the first conference game this year. It's second 4A game for North Catholic, but the first conference game. So what a streak that the Trojans had under Coach O'Shea, and let's start another one tomorrow night.
Yep, and that streak was the longest in the WPIAL of any team in the WPIAL, and so that came down last week. And Kiski playing on the 23rd of September, as we talk to you here on the 22nd as we record this, and that's a homecoming game, Ryan, and it's going to be a big crowd, big alumni presence for this game, and looking for some big things for the North Catholic offense.
Yes, and I think it's hopefully is going to be a confidence boost to the offense. The defense, they've got confidence. They've been playing really well of late. The run defense the pass defense wasn't where it needed to be last week, but I think that'll continue to improve because the run defense and the pass rush has been really good. And speaking of that pass rush, Brady O'Hara, North Catholic sophomore, who's 6'6", picked up his first Division I offer from Pitt. So big shout out and congratulations to Brady on that, and he'll continue to get more offers if he keeps playing the way that he's been playing.
Absolutely. And only a sophomore, and he gets a lot more time to come to develop and to get more eyes on him. And exciting stuff there for Brady O'Hara, as he can play all sides of the ball, tight end on offense, defensive end on defense, and he's an excellent special teamser. Makes some big hits on the special team side of the ball, too. Just a ball hawk. And as you said, best of luck to him in the future, and congratulations to him on that offer. And with that, how about we talk a little bit about boys soccer?
Yeah, the boys soccer team, Alex, they're 2-4 right now overall. They got a game against Armstrong tonight, the 22nd, which is a game they should win. So let's say they win that and move to 3-4, which is not where they want to be, but they have a lot of opportunities to get wins starting against Armstrong tonight. But they also played Hampton Close, who's one of the better teams. They played them 3-2. It was an overtime loss. 2 goals were scored by Ryan Shantz, who's been the goal-scoring machine for the Trojans this year.
Sure has, Ryan. And as you said, they have played teams close. They played Kiski just a couple days ago in a really tight matchup. 2-0 they lost by, and it probably should have even been closer than that. And that's one of the best teams in their section as well. So they're playing well. They just need to get even a little better, and they'll be in an even better position.
Yeah, hopefully they can stack some wins and get back into above 500 record.
Absolutely. And with that, let's talk about girls soccer.
Yeah, Alex, they've had a pretty good year, 6-0 if you don't count the non-conference, or maybe it was just a scrimmage. The Fox Chapel loss, which was 5-4.
Yep.
They had a big win in overtime last night against Beaver, 3-2. The win against Central Valley on Monday, September 19th, 4-1. So they've been getting some wins. They've been led by Lauren McDonald. Goal scoring has been amazing this year, and hopefully they can continue that over the next couple games.
Lauren McDonald's been fantastic. She was great last year. She's picking up even more this year, especially in a leadership role as well, as we had her on the podcast just a couple weeks ago. And she's been fantastic. And Simone Sharpless as well has been unbelievable, chipping in goals. Riley Coomer had a fantastic night in net last night, made 12 saves. And Brittany Cullen got the game winner in overtime for the Trojanettes. And that's great to see as well. And the Trojanettes, they're not only playing great soccer, but they're playing great complementary soccer. They're supporting each other and just getting better and better each time they step out on the pitch.
And they got their most important game of the season next week against Avonworth, Alex. September 26th. That's their rival, and that's going to be at Avonworth as the first game. They're supposed to play Avonworth at home, but that one got rained out, so this will be the big matchup against their rival Avonworth, and that'll be a fun one.
And that is a big one. And Avonworth, since it's at Avonworth, that's going to be a big one for their school, as they bring the band to like those events too. The band, I'm sure, will be there outside. The band goes to the girls volleyball games too. So their marching band goes everywhere. So that'll be a cool atmosphere and a great test for the Trojanettes coming up. And with that, Ryan, let's talk about some Trojans golf.
Yep, Alex, the 8-3 on the year is a successful season. A big win over Shaler to end the year, who they lost to earlier in the year. And also 4 golfers that advanced to Whipple regionals. The mark I think that was needed was 82, so 4 Trojan golfers met that mark. Ethan Ellis with a 76, Tommy Burke had a 77, Eric Schneider had a 78, and Jared Huffnagel was right on that mark with an 82. That must have been a stressful asshole for him.
Absolutely. And how about the success from the golf team this year? They've been dominant, both varsity and JV, and picking up great averages throughout the year. It's been a great season.
Yeah, coming off a championship season last year where the varsity team won Whippeals. They're hoping to repeat this year, and they have a good chance to do that. They've lost the matches they lost by 2 strokes to Hampton, which is another close one. Fox Chapel, it was lost by 13, but that was at the Field Club, and that's a tough course to play, especially if you haven't played it a lot like Fox Chapel has. In Pheasant Ridge, they lost to Shaler at Pheasant Ridge by 3 strokes as well, but then they beat Shaler the last match of the year. So some nice wins, some close losses. So North Catholic, they have a chance to win this year. Whippeals again.
In Pheasant Ridge, that's your home course?
That is the home course, yes.
Okay, interesting. And where's the Whippeal playoffs held at?
The qualifiers was at Saxon. I'm not sure if that's where it will be played for regionals.
And with that, let's talk about some girls volleyball. Girls volleyball team has been perfect in section so far this year, not losing a set. Absolutely dominant. A big win against Mars last week. Mars thought to be a better opponent in section for the Trojanettes this year, and they just destroyed them on the court. It was pretty remarkable at Mars, and they'll be playing at North coming up here as we get into October. But they played NA on Monday, and that was a tough loss for the Trojanettes.
Yeah, but I think they learned a lot of stuff about the team, especially that they can't go into some of these games expecting to win everyone. And as Stephanie told us, because we interviewed her, that they can't just, I guess, be positive when they're up by 10, as she said. They have to be positive when they're down. And I think they haven't been down much, so they haven't really had to go through that. But I think if they played NA again, they win a couple sets and maybe even win the thing. And Alex, you were there. They were pretty competitive, weren't they?
They were competitive in all those sets. And as Steph said, you really have to be – the bench has to be invested. The bench has to be invested in the game for the volleyball team to be good. It really does. It's so crucial what's done on the court, but it's even more crucial how the team supports each other. And I think that's the biggest recipe for success that they've had over the years, and a crucial part to their winning success every match. And that's something that was lacking a bit in that NA game. And I think that hurt them a bit. But they were competitive in each set, and it's a great test against probably one of the best teams in the state. It doesn't matter the classification, but NA is one of the best teams in the entire state of PA. And one of their players is going to Ohio State next year for volleyball. And it was a tough matchup, but they moved on and they played a great bounce-back game against Lincoln Park, where they swept them on Tuesday. We were there for that call, and let's talk to Stephanie Lynch about what she's seen so far this year.
We're here with North Catholic girls volleyball player Stephanie Lynch. Stephanie, thank you for coming on the podcast today.
Oh, of course. Thank you for having me.
Well, to start off, Steph, you guys have started off excellent in conference. Perfect so far, without losing a set. Would you say the confidence level of the team is pretty high?
Yes. Yes, we have a pretty big title that we have to defend this year. So even though that gives us some confidence, we still have to go out and take it, work really hard. It's a new season.
How has the large amount of seniors on this team, I believe there's 9 seniors on this team, helped the transition from 2A to 3A, I guess, go a lot smoother?
So the 9 of us, we've been a part of the team for the past 4 years, I guess, if you include this year. And just being able to be a part of the team, being a part of each season since freshman year has given us the ability to grow close with our coach, with our teammates, and just know the program really well, which helps us to go into a new section with confidence.
So you played NA a couple days ago.
Yes.
It didn't go the way you wanted it to, but playing teams like that, which NA is not only one of the best teams in 4A in the state, but they might be the best team in the state of all any classification. And so how did you feel playing those teams kind of prepares you for the rest of the year, and maybe even if it's a loss, shapes you as a team?
I think definitely the NA game didn't go as hoped. I think we could take them. We didn't perform as well as we could have. But I think that playing a team like that with like a fast-paced game prepares us for playoffs, for WPIALs, for state. I think it gives us the opportunity to work really hard and have fun. I think games like that are more fun, for sure.
Do you think there's any lessons that you guys learned from that game that can really help you in those tight games and against, I guess, better competition later in the year?
I think that playing a game like NA reminds us that we can't have positive energy only when we're up by 10 points. We have to have positive energy when we're down by 2. It helps you stay focused on the goal, but also having fun and remembering that we're just playing volleyball.
The bench, for volleyball, it's one of those sports that I always see the bench is so into the game, and the whole team is so supportive in volleyball. Being on the court during those moments, and when you make a big play, and you hear the crowd, you hear the bench coming out, what's that feeling like? And the support amongst the girls, does that really carry you guys sometimes through sets and through tough sets?
Yes, definitely. I think the support of our team as a whole is really a huge part of our success. Being on the court and hearing everyone cheer, it just makes everyone feel proud of you. It's thank you for getting that point. We're a whole team. Everyone, whenever one person scores, we all score. So I think that getting the bench involved, getting the court, I think whenever we cheer, it helps us have more fun. It helps us get energized and put that energy into the game.
Yeah, and it's also very important, support when someone misses a play or makes a bad play. It's important to support them and get them back up into the next play as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's something that we're really good at. We're working on getting more encouragement even whenever we're not performing well.
So you go from playing a team like NA, and you go to play Lincoln Park. No disrespect to Lincoln Park, but you're better than Lincoln Park. Mm-hmm. Let's just put that out there. Nobody's going to dispute that. But when you play teams that you're better than, is it ever tough to maybe not get up for those games in a way? Where is there something Coach Feder might do where you feel like you go into that game playing your best, even though you know you're better?
I think that games like that are a little bit more relaxed. But we're still focusing on getting good touches on the ball, working on staying disciplined, and kind of just stepping back and working on this like more simpler things, like in defense, and also sometimes working on new things like a new set or a new attack. I think it's a good way to practice, but also it helps us with our energy, stay focused on like the game, and even though we're up by a lot of points.
Well, that's all we have for you. Thank you for the interview today. It was a really good one.
Oh yeah, thank you so much, guys.
You just heard from Stephanie Lynch, Alex. Another good interview. Every interview we've had this year on the podcast has been good.
They've been great.
That's another addition to that group. Now let's move on to girls tennis. So we don't have any updates on any of their matches over the last couple of weeks, but we can tell you they're having a good year, Alex. Right now, it has them at 7-2 record-wise, and that's a really big improvement, and they're continuing to get better.
They are.
A big win over Seneca. We talked about it on the last podcast as well. But they got two big games coming up against Knock and at North Allegheny, Alex.
Wow, North Allegheny, that's going to be a fun one. And they really have had a remarkable year. They keep on improving. Sean Malone is basically their main coach this year, and he's done a remarkable job in practice. He's a great teacher, and the girls love him, and he's a guy's head coach too, and he loves tennis, and he's such a good player, and that team is thriving under his leadership, and it's exciting to see. Cross country's been great recently.
Yeah.
Results from the sectional home meet at Chatham Eden Hall, girls won 3 and lost a close one to Hampton. So North Catholic 30, Hampton 25. 17, North Catholic 17, Freeport 43, North Catholic 17, Riverview 46, and North Catholic 18, Shadyside Academy 45. And that's the girls and their matchups. So that means the girls got a lower score than 3 of those teams. So they beat Freeport, Riverview, and Shadyside by quite a bit, really. And then North Catholic lost by 5 to Hampton in that cross country.
And the boys went 2-2 with a close loss to Hampton, 30-25, and then big win against Freeport and Shadyside, 18-45 and 15-49. But then a very close loss to Riverview, 27-28.
That's a nail biter there. But the cross country team they've been running the wheels off during practice, and they're really, really well conditioned for these meets. And they've had a great year, really good year. And they continue their success as they head into the tail end of their season. And with that, Ryan, that about does it for this week's episode.
Yes, it does, Alex. It's a good one. We covered 7 sports, had a good interview with Stephanie Lynch. Hopefully a big football win on Friday, and all the other sports to get some wins as well, so we can talk about some wins next week on the podcast. Episode 3 of the year, so hope to get episode 4 next week. We thank you all for listening, and remember, we are your one-stop podcast for everything North Catholic athletics.